Audio test one, two. Audio test one, two.
Mic check, mic check. Good afternoon, mic check. Mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check. Good, good.
Mic check.
Thank you, everyone. I think we're finally have our technical issues sorted out. Tom will be starting here in a few seconds.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the little delay there. A few technical challenges, but we are live from Window Rock, Arizona. It's the 7th annual Navajo Nation Trails and Outdoor Rec Conference, and we've got a couple awesome days in store. Glad you're able to join us. We want to introduce our team here first, though, and let you know who's all going to be kind of hosting this for the next couple of days, and they'll introduce themselves, and then we will introduce our very first presenter. I want to mention one thing, though. We do have a lot of trivia that's going to be going on throughout this. Some of you have been jumping in on some of the trivia on Facebook in the last half hour or so. So we will have lots of opportunities to win some cool swag. So jump in on those questions. Some of them will be here. Some will be on the Facebook page. So just kind of keep tabs of that. We do have some 4 winners already. So congratulations to you guys on getting on board. So, all right. Well, I'm Tom Briggenbach. I'm going to be one of the hosts for this next 2 days, and really looking forward to spending the time with you. Let me introduce the rest of our team. Well, they can introduce themselves, and then we'll turn it over to President Jonathan Nez.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nelsa Curley. I am from Page, Arizona, but originally live in the White Mesa area. Kis ani na yizin nishla. Liza sana bashish chin. Kis ani slash a dasache. Ado kitlchini a dashanala. So great to be here, and we will be seeing you for the next couple of days.
Hello, my name is Aaron. I am from Red Valley, Arizona. So I will be kind of in between, kind of doing some moderating, telling you guys some of the questions you guys have me on Facebook or YouTube, and also I will be presenting tomorrow too. So I got a little slide show that I want to share with you guys. But good to be here, and let's see how this goes.
Hi, Yate, everybody. My name is Raja BK. Kitchini and Slon Asha Bishachin, Kanazani Dashache, Hanati Dashanella, Auto Bishop Benasco and Asha. I come from Cove, Arizona, and those are my clans recently. And hello, everybody. Just like to say hello again. And I come from Cove, Arizona, and I'll be doing some presentation with you guys. And also like to introduce the Navajo Nation president that will be speaking next. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Jonathan Nez here. Yat do he hadaso gizigi do kodo Tom Riggenbach do Nelsa Raiji Aaron hadas zi do he la kodo DJ ho Navajo Trails and Outdoor Recreation Conference. Will ye go shi na kitchen do les. No, what ya nakaho na kijishi di Regenda national do dinjenda national shinat ya shahit le to le to kun khalchin hikaidan dingi ya nkhada illa so dishi ya nitsis bada huilya no no konvenda ni tin jadi ha ishi ni ya ni ya chostoit ini du konzentragina hast it's da hulie gebje ako nihe ya kodo nitsis bada hosnyado ado chiando ayat egi chudash ado ntash tchek tadi no what ya sa nihich kondeji le kena da sata da do kare large tatni da shdo nidi benach akdo andi we can see zdi kon khashchen aron hikes Tom Riggenbach benanish ich inigido she self Nez auto Nkhandal Nishigido Kaji Office of the President Vice President has Ajisanya Bigay Edo here Ashka Natcha so by here needs and do Lanshin Antin the shadow the neck at Yada and Kodo Chin Kada no Finigi the neck at Yada King his bed as in Gishi Naha at the house net or less and he mustn't he chain he Nalanasta as Legi the neck HD yada Kigido, Vespeda has in Gishi Kodo, and which Ashanet or Hilash Wansk in a thing. She ain't Shino Tratnesani, but she's chin to the chini, the Shichiro Trachini, the Shanana Sayate. Then he didn't need all this, the neck at you. We just want to transition from our welcome into English. We appreciate Mr. Tom Riggenbach. Aaron, Nelsa, Raiji, the First Lady, Cecilia, Nez, Sonia Begay from our office. And what a great lineup for these next 2 days for the Navajo Trails and Outdoor Recreation Conference. We got folks from all parts of the Navajo Nation, including all around us. Donnie Mose, Lewis Williams. We even got our own Navajo Nation employees that are going to be doing presentation. David McKessick, First Lady Lady Nez, John Yazzie, Raiji, Irene Daisy, Jackson, JT Willie, Etty Anderson, Abosta, Tyler Manson, Earl Sombrero. You know, Earl and Tuppy Kin have an awesome project that they're going to be highlighting. That's a trail development using the junk food tax. So listen in on that. And then we have Melissa Kelly, author Bavaro, Candy John, Dr. Rudy Shabala, Rachel Holiday, and Dr. Jill Jim. Now, we apologize for getting on a little late. Of course, there's always some technical difficulty that we have to handle, and that's what happened. But we appreciate all our viewers that are tuning in from the Navajo Nation and off the Navajo Nation. And let me just also say, too, that there's a health and wellness movement that is taking the nation, maybe even this country, maybe the world by storm. We're wanting to take better care of ourselves, our health, as well as others around, especially more so now with COVID-19, right? The need to take care of yourself, build a strong immunity against diseases. In this case, pushing back on COVID-19. And we have seen great partnerships all across the Navajo Nation in trail developments, building these trails for biking opportunities, running, walking, even horseback riding. And, we appreciate Navajo Youth Empowerment Services for being out there, including the museum, our own Navajo Nation Museum, for assisting in developing trails here in the Window Rock area. But the need is great out there on the Navajo Nation. So we've been having Just Move It runs for over 20 plus years. And we still use the same routes, which is usually on the highway, pavement, or on the dirt road. But we want to develop some permanent trails that are safer. When we do Just Movement, you got all the cones out, flaggers out, everybody's helping to keep everybody safe. But once that leaves the community, it's hard to run on the roads, and sometimes it may not be safe. But what we want to do is develop permanent trails on the Navajo Nation, and that is happening with the help of this team that is putting on the Navajo Trails and Outdoor Recreation Conference. And we also want to thank all our special guests that are doing presentations. Here on the Navajo Nation, we have just improved the Navajo Nation Zoo. A little improvements, maybe even an expansion of the zoo, trying to get people to come out with their families, get outdoors and enjoy the natural beauty, and, just be with their families. I know we have spent a lot of times with our families during these lockdowns. And sometimes we need a break, right? To get out and start moving. We're going to also be reopening our Navajo Nation Special Diabetes Program to do a lot more events, but we're doing this very in a safe way for our Navajo people to, push back on COVID-19. But I just want to end by just applauding the Navajo Nation for doing an outstanding job in following these protocols. It's because of you. We have a high vaccination rate. We also are seeing a decrease in cases. Yes, we saw a surge, but not many people ended up in the hospital because of these protocols that we have been following. So that all falls in line with taking better care of ourselves, taking care of our body. And that means exercising and also eating right. So ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the conference for the next 2 days, and we look forward to seeing you on the local trail on the Navajo Nation. So God bless you, and God bless our great Navajo Nation. So I'm going to turn the time back over to Mr. Tom Riggenbach. Thank you, Tom, for all you do for our Navajo youth and for our Navajo people. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. President Nez, thank you for those good words. Getting this conference going. Some good words from our president. Yeah. So at this point, we're going to have an opportunity for you all to send in your greetings, your hellos from around the Navajo Nation. So if you are so inclined, chime in on Facebook and just write a short message from wherever you happen to be this afternoon. And we'll be glad to share those in just a few minutes here as we get some of those from those of you tuning in this afternoon. I know there's a couple ladies that want to share. Colleen, if you are on the call, Colleen has a greeting and also an announcement she'd like to make. So Colleen Cooley, if you are there, you can go ahead and take the floor. And Amber, if you're there as well, go ahead if you want to say your greeting. These ladies are zooming in, I believe.
Hello.
All right.
Hello, this is Colleen. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, Colleen. Go for it.
Great. Hello, Yate, to everyone tuning in. Che Colleen Cooley Yanashia, Kenya Ani Nishla, look at the Nabash's Chin, Twat Heglini, Dasha Che, Glazafana Dashanella, Shant Twahadan, Do Bistog is Deshkish, Dan Ayasanasha. I am originally from Shanto and Blue Gap, Arizona. And I just wanted to share a little bit about a program. I don't know if the organizers there can pull up a screenshot I sent to you all. If not, I can send a link in the chat box here on Facebook, at least to start with. And I wanted to provide an information about the Native Teen Guide in Training program that is hosted by the Canyonlands Field Institute, and they are based in Moab. So this is a great opportunity for any Native youth that are between, I guess it would be 8th grade to 12th grade students out there. It's an opportunity to go down the San Juan River and learn some guiding skills, learn how to set up camp, basic first aid and rescue techniques, team building, river safety. And also we had last year, I was one of the guides for this program. We were fortunate to have Arnold Clifford. Some of you may know him out there, very knowledgeable about the landscape and the plants. And so he was able to provide some great knowledge to the young students that we had on the trip. So this is, the dates for this are, for the trip this year will be June 21st to June 28th. And so I just talked to the education director yesterday, and they will be accepting applications starting in March. So just keep a lookout for that. I put the link there in the chat on Facebook, and I'll put it on the YouTube channel as well. And so really, if you want to find out more information, or even for anyone that wants to support the program, I will also put a link in the chat here in a little bit. Thank you, and that's all I wanted to share with you all, and great to be part of this conference.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it. You're on.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Amber Benali. I come from Tuba City, Arizona. Currently, I reside in Flagstaff, Arizona, and I work for an organization called the Grand Canyon Trust. Right now, we're hosting a 9-day river trip for Native youth. These are going to be ages 16 to 20. We're specifically calling for Native youth who identify of the 11 associated tribes from the Grand Canyon region. The dates for this trip are going to be July 11th through July 19th. As I mentioned, it's a completely free trip. I can send the link. I don't know how I can send the link, but I can share the link. It's going to be grandcanyontrust.org/rise, and that's going to be RIISE. And let me see, what else? I think that's what I can share right now. I would highly encourage you, if you know any young people ages 16 to 20, to go ahead and sign up. We will be taking 16 youth. And the goal of this trip is to really connect young people with 4 intertribal elders so that they can learn the stories of the Grand Canyon, they can connect with the landscape, and they can really get outdoors to a place that it has a really high cost of recreation. So go ahead and share the link. I will try and share it with the Facebook page of now Navajo Yes, so that they can post it on their social media sites. But that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. We got some messages from a few folks. Good afternoon from Santan Valley, listening in on behalf of Shanto Economic Development Corporation, Miss Arlene Ned. All right. We've got Randy John. Randy John Jr. tuning in from Albuquerque. All right. Originally from Shiprock, Kirtland, New Mexico area. And then Colleen has also added her link there. Anyone interested in supporting the Native Teen Guide program, check that out. Good afternoon, Che Norris, man. I'm not sure which of us Che's he's talking to. Hey, all right, out there, Norris. Good afternoon to you, brother. All right, and then Amber is also sending her link to the Grand Canyon river trip for youth. So check that out as well if you are interested in that. So anybody else want to chime in? Just send your greeting to us here on the Facebook page. It'd be great to hear from anybody else who is out there listening in from across the great Navajo Nation and beyond, it looks like. So that's awesome. All right, next, Aaron is going to introduce our very next speaker, Mr. Donnie Mose. Donnie's going to do a short message from Tsebaneskai, Monument Valley. And after Donnie, we'll get on to our keynoter for this afternoon, Lewis Williams from Montezuma Creek. So, Aaron.
Okay, so the next speaker, our presenter, will be Donnie Mose. He's from Monument Valley. He is a cyclist. And one of his things he talks about is about how cycling has changed his life for a positive way. So, Donnie, let's hear your story.
Good morning. My name is Donald Mose. I'm from Monument Valley. Originally grew up in the Mexican Hat. She Donald Mose and she no da touchy ni insle. Honagak ni buses chin touchy ni de che. Do is the sun da chanela. I'm very grateful for this opportunity I have to just share a short video of my experiences in my health journey and being able to share some of my journeys as I have improved my health through biking, through running, through the Navajo Yes program.
As I have began this journey, I have realized that it is not simply a change in diet and exercise, but it is an all-encompassing change in lifestyle. I did not know much about running as I never enjoyed it, nor did I have a desire to exercise regularly. Most of my desire to regain my health was based solely on the fact that a doctor's visit revealed that I had high blood pressure, and blood work also revealed that I was pre-diabetic. I was 70 pounds overweight and was on the verge of a heart attack. I felt that if I did not make changes soon, I would not be able to enjoy my life to the fullest. I remember taking a family trip to Canyon de Chelly and my family wanting to hike down to the bottom. I, being out of shape, did not feel that I could make it down and back up the trail, so I stayed on top. I felt very ashamed. My lack of confidence struck a chord in myself that made my decision to lose weight easy. From that day forward, I started to exercise. I asked my wife to help in the process, so together we set out to get in better shape. Our goal we set for ourselves was to complete a 5K. Then after we did that, we completed a 10K. Next we did a half marathon. We did 3 actually. That's when we decided to train for a full marathon. It was going well, very well for 2 months. That is when an old injury caught up to me. I suffered a ligament tear in my ankle, and an MRI showed early signs of osteoarthritis of the ankle joint. I had to have surgery to repair the damage the best they could. I never regained full function of the ankle, so I had to move from running to a less strenuous activity with low joint impact. That is when I started mountain biking and have not looked back since. Biking has given me a new sense of freedom. It was a rebirth of my childhood as I grew up riding bikes. I of course had to start slowly, but once I got my ankle strength back, riding my bike was all that I wanted to do. I knew Tom and the Navajo Yes team sponsored races, and I wanted to be a part of them. I entered my first race and was instantly hooked. The first year I completed all but one race in the Navajo Yes series. During the pandemic, I competed as well. Tom held virtual races. They weren't the same, but it gave me reason to keep up on the training. The past 2 years has been tough for most of us during this time of pandemic, but it doesn't mean we need to stop our exercise routines. If more so, it is more valuable in that a lot of our nation is suffering with mental and physical health issues. We as a Navajo Nation need to continue to strive for better health care individually. The rewards of exercise and diet is more important than ever. We need physical activity to prolong lives. This, I feel, has been the great reward for me as a Navajo to be able to get on my bike and ride without limits. In closing, I'd like to recognize Tom Riggenbach and his crew of Navajo Yes for creating running and biking trails across the Navajo Nation. As they continue to
He is also part of our community advisor trails on the Navajo Nation, and he's also part of the Imba Trails, our common ground. Here you go, Luis.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yate. Hello, everybody. Hi, my name is Louis Williams. Here to present on the benefits of outdoor recreation and trails on the Navajo Nation. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the introduction by Mr. President Nez and the great announcements by the previous speakers from, Colleen with the CFI and Grand Canyon Trust. Those are great announcements. So thank you for those and for every. Let me see. The blue screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yes, Shea Lewis Williams in a share. Bink Betod in the Schlin. So my clans are Deer Springs people. My second clan is Chippewa. My third clan is two people coming to the water people. My fourth clan is Mifflin, Dakota Sioux. So I'm here. I'm in Southeast Utah, and I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to share with y'all. So I'd like to say thank you to the Navajo Yes and Office of the President, Navajo Vice President, and the Navajo Task Force, and the Navajo Parks and Recreation. Everybody involved with this, coordinating this event, and we very much appreciate it. So today I want to just give you some I want to give you some visuals of what the benefits are while we're out on the trail or on the river. So I'm here to give you guys a little idea of what we see and what goes on out there on the trail. So this is there's a lot of benefits out there, so great and so enormous, and I'd like to share some of those. And first of all, I'm the owner of an indigenous outfit that we provide guided tours in the region of Navajo Nation near the San Juan River area. We offer multiple day backpacking, hiking, and photography tours. We also tour in the Bears Ears region. So this is it's actually a picture of me out on a tour. So this is why I get to share with you. I invite you all out to come out sometime, and so it's so awesome to be out there. So just a little background. Ancient Waves. I've been guiding since 2012, full time on the San Juan River, and as a land-based guide in the Bears Ears region. I started Ancient Waves River and Hike Adventures in the 2019 fall season, and we established it in February 2020. And we're excited and we're honored to be the first Navajo-owned company to obtain a commercial river permit to run guided tours on the San Juan River. So we're glad to be part of the movement and this outdoor recreation movement. And just glad to be here and share a little bit of what's out there. This is a picture of the San Juan River here. So this is where we conduct tours. This is the Navajo Nation, everybody. So I'm providing these visuals so you can be inspired to go outside and to explore the backyard. So much going on out there. So we all have, no matter which tribe we're from, we have ancestors, and our roots go back to living outdoors, outdoor living and living off the land. So it's very awesome to be out there on the trail to see all this greatness out there. So this outdoor living, which is what we see. I wanted to show you what's out there. So I'm going to give you a little visual tour of what we see and what you guys can help do. And this is we're trying to encourage each other to be out there. So I want to give you guys some encouraging visuals and a lot of benefits out there I want to share with you. So I'm out there. This is a picture of me on some tours. I've taken a lot of people from a lot of different regions of the world. We've seen a lot of visitors over these past few months. What's going on with the pandemic. So we've been busy taking people out there, and it's very fun. So we get to see the benefits, and we see the people's smiles, and we see how the experience is very awesome. You know, it enhances their, you know, their lives. So that's what I want to share. Little more. This is a group out. We're out hiking. So we again, we see, look at the smiles on the people. You know, everybody's so excited to get out. And this is actually our backyard. There's several of us are in this picture that are from, you know, these areas, and this place where we're visiting, we're so excited because they've never been there. So Navajo Nation is so vast, and there's so many places to visit. You know, it's very exciting when people get the chance. So we're at a trailhead right now, and this picture, I should say, we're ready to go on a trail and go visit some awesome places. So it's very exciting, you know, to be out there and have an opportunity to visit a trail. So that's a picture of the trailhead, and this is a picture here is of the Navajo Nation as well. We're near the San Juan River. You know, we're in this Ancient Waves River and Hike Adventures where we're focused our tours around the San Juan River in southeast Utah. So this is a group, again, we're in a totally different region, and we're learning about the Navajo culture and the way Navajo people utilize the river, and how we're walking down to some fields, and they're going to learn about irrigation and all that fun stuff that we do in our daily tasks. So the San Juan River has drawn quite a bit of it evokes some emotion and brings some awareness to the area. So just a little bit of background. I mentioned I was a guide on the San Juan River. So when I became a guide, it opened up a whole new world and a whole new perspective on nature. I grew up very active. I grew up playing sports. I grew up hiking with my family. And so sorry that somebody jumped on Mr. Donnie Mose. Yeah, river rafting opened up a whole new world, everybody. So I just want to introduce the San Juan River. So I'm providing some pictures, because when we get out there on the river, we get off the river, we get on a trail. So these trails, the trail and the river, they just go hand in hand. They're the outdoor great outdoors. So being outside, we see along the river, we float, and this is all Navajo Nation, everybody, these pictures that I'm sharing with you. So there's Navajo Nation is along the river, they have a designated area where they protect the bighorn. And the bighorn are, you know, they're part of our stories from long ago, and they're also indicated on the rock walls. So we find petroglyph panels with their pictures on it, dating back to like 5,000 BC. So these native animals that roam Navajo Nation, they've been roaming the Navajo Nation for thousands of years. So this is their homeland. And when we get out there on the river and the trails in these rugged terrains, we get to see these beautiful animals, and we get to connect with them. So that's one native animal that we see out there, along with the native birds that are out there, like the bluebirds. And they're all part of our stories. You know, there's beaver out here, and there's all the black bear, and all those wonderful animals that are part of our stories and that we depend on. And when we're out there along the trails, if you hike along the trails, you'll always see the native plants out there. And this is a great picture because it's got some lizards on there, and so reptiles, and there's so many species that you get to see out there and are introduced to. I wasn't introduced to a lot of these plants and these animals and all these geological features out here until I got on the trail and on the river. So it's very awesome to be out there, everybody. And you know, all these plants that we see out there, it's very important to learn about them, because there's a lot of them are medicinal, and we utilize them all the time in our daily lives. And when we're out there, you become knowledgeable about the landscape and the importance of mechanisms and microscopic organisms that are out there that you can't see unless you get down with the hand lens. So this is a picture of a cryptobiotic soil, also known as biological soil. And this grows all over the southwest Colorado Plateau. So grows pretty much in everybody's backyard if we were to let it grow. So it's very important, cryptobiotic soil. I wanted to share this because you see it's everywhere and it's very important. It has a life cycle and we don't want to bust it. So I'll talk about a little bit about that in a little bit, but I just want to introduce you to cryptobiotic soil. And if you see it out there, let's try to take care of it because it's taking care of the land, right? The cryptobiotic soil is feeding nutrients to the soil. It's providing stability to the soil. So rather than having loose soil and like beach sand texture, we have soil that's full of nutrients and solid, and it's very important to have this cryptobiotic soil finish its life cycle. So it's important. That's what we see out there, and that's why it's fun to hike on the trails, because you got to stay on the trail to not bust the crust. So that's a little phrase that we hear often out on the trail: "Don't bust the crust." Out on the trails, along the river, we get to see ancient civilizations. So this is a photo of a dwelling. Not actually, it's a structure. It's not a dwelling. It's more of a storage room. But we have a lot of these rooms, and some of them are dwellings, some of them are granaries, but they're all over, located around the southwest region, the Four Corners region. And we see these, and they're very inspiring, very beneficial to see these, and it shows you how our ancestors lived and how much struggle they went through to have our current generation standing here today. So it's very that's a benefit, is to learn about our culture and to our ancestors, because they're trying to speak to us, and that's when we get out there, we get to listen to them and receive their messages. So that's a lot going on out there regarding history and culture, modern day culture. We're out there, we see history from our Navajo heritage. We're out there on the trails. You get to see ancient structures and evidence of our ancestors living, in these places near waterways, and this inspires. Hopefully, it inspires people. It inspired me. That's why I'm actually sharing this, and I'm here, standing here, because outdoor recreation inspired me to learn about my culture and to be proud of my culture, to be proud of the language, and to understand that all these structures have stories. So there's stories that need to be understood, and it's out there. So outdoor recreation is where it's at. That's why I wanted to show that picture. And when we're out there, we see all these beautiful things and all these precious and delicate structures, and it leads you to want to protect it. So it's very beneficial for Mother Nature. This outdoor recreation. It teaches you how to preserve, protect, conserve. It teaches you to leave no trace principles. So we want to take care of these places for our future generations. So it teaches us to do that, and educate. Education, you learn stuff about rocks and water, and you want to learn more. Once you realize how awesome it is and how awesome Mother Earth is. And again, so it's awesome. It's so beneficial to be out there and to learn about this stuff and to help take care of our landscape, for our future generations. So it benefits Mother Earth, and it also has benefits the people, our people. The people get to have an opportunity to live like our grandparents did: wake up in the morning, run to the east, so we can run. You know, we that's why I'm standing here presenting, because I want to encourage more trails, give us an opportunity to run to these places rather than a road where it's dangerous. We need trails designated for these runs that we do, and it's been ritualistic for years. So it can be ritualistic, can be for health, many reasons. You know, these trails are much needed. And we got this there. This is a picture of Monument Valley, which is a great place to visit, and offers a lot. You know, there's a lot of places to hike, run, and just take into outdoors. Trail ride. You want to get on a horse, you can ride it right on the trail, and just take in Mother Earth and Mother Nature, and you can have a picnic out there and just congregate and just hang out with the family. So that's a great benefit, very important for our health. And so family it benefits from the outdoor recreation, you know, getting out there and, you know, struggling. You know, this is a picture of the family. We did a rim to rim hike, and, you know, this is afterwards. So to look, everybody's so happy, and we struggled. But once you're done, we've learned so much. You learn about the landscape, and you learn about yourself. And this is what I hope to see, you know, on the Navajo Nation, you know, maybe trails across the Chuska Mountain, and to have people have an opportunity to do this and have amenities like the Grand Canyon. You know, that's the only way they can have families to do something like this, is to have amenities out on the trail. So I'd like to see that out on the Navajo reservation, and hopefully one of these days, you know, we'll be doing hikes out there, you know, all over. There's so many places out on the Navajo Nation. So yeah, the benefits of the people, you know, it's so much: family, mental health, physical health. You know, I'd like to say, I look at this picture, we're at a state of equilibrium. So what we call hajon, you know, that's what we all want to achieve, is hajon, and that's what outdoor recreation helps to achieve. So yeah, that's very, very important, you know, to be outdoors. So being outdoors, you know, this is along with the culture, along with the learning about the landscape, you know, you get to breathe in, you know, the fresh air. You know, you can take the dog out. There's a picture of you know, on the trail with the dog on a leash. So it's very important to have that connection. You know, our dogs need to connect with nature too. So it's all about connecting with nature, you know, health-wise, and for culture, you know, for yourself, self-esteem. So all this is beneficial, and what I wanted to bring up too is it's beneficial for the economy. You know, so much economic benefits of having a trail, you know, out here, and you can have events, you know, like Mr. Nez just mentioned that there's Just Move It has been going on for years, and maybe one of these days we'll have it on a nice trail, you know, with these wonderful views. And so there's so much potential, you know, tourism. The local economies will just thrive. Events will draw attention from outside of the Navajo Nation. Film industry, lodging, arts and crafts, and I put renewable energy as well.
Okay.
So that's the benefits that I wanted to share with y'all, and I felt that was important to share. So I'm gonna just end with just a little brief overview. You know, I mentioned there's a lot of benefits out through outdoor recreation and trail creating and management. And I just mentioned I'll just go over real briefly. Self-care, mental health, physical health. We learn to appreciate nature, and we want to take care of Mother Earth. Strengthens our culture, being out there, just learning more about our culture. Strengthens the household. Families create a stronger bond, and it strengthens the economy. So there's so many benefits, and I look forward to that. And I'd just like to, end with a little something here, just to encourage y'all. And so as an outdoor adventurer and the owner of an outfit providing indigenous tours, we see the many benefits outdoor recreation offers. It is healthy for people to be outdoors and to connect with nature. The people need the inspiration and ability to do so. This effort to create trails and revive outdoor recreation is key for longevity of the clans that inhabit this region and helps maintain balance. Okay, everybody, for attending this conference and taking the time to listen to this presentation. Dahlia.
Oh, yeah, Lewis. That was awesome. Great words from a guy doing some amazing things on the southern Utah portion of the Navajo. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Lewis. Really inspiring stories. Just wanted to go over a couple things real quick, and then we'll shift over to our very next session, which is going to be really cool. Look behind the scenes at the Navajo Nation Zoo. Okay. Okay. Repeat what we did. Oh, yeah. Lewis, thanks for those good words. Inspiring stuff from southern Utah, part of the Navajo. Awesome stuff. Just want to go over a couple things here before we shift over to our next speaker. We're going to have a look at Navajo Nation Zoo, kind of behind the scenes look at the zoo. We've got greetings I want to share from Daniel Vandiver with the Ket Community Trails out in Crown Point. Yeah, Daniel, good to hear from you. And Roman McCabe with San Juan College Outdoor Rec Program saying hello. And Najona Talis all the way from Tucson by way of Rough Rock saying hello this afternoon as well. So we got lots of folks chiming in and jumping on board this Navajo Nation Trails Conference, 7th annual. So glad you're all able to join us. We did, like I said, we're going to do a lot of trivia today, and we have had 5 awards so far. We've got some great winners. So if you think you know the answer to this question, you could chime in with your response on our Facebook page, which is where some of you are streaming this thing live. And here is the question. Our first 4 answers were all tribal parks. We talked about Miami Valley, Four Corners, LCR, Rainbow, Lake Powell, Navajo Tribal Parks. So this question is a trail that is not in a tribal park. And this is the most popular trail in the Navajo Nation that is not in a tribal park. The most popular trail in the whole res is Wildcat Trail in Miami Valley. And we just had that answer a little bit ago while we were getting ready here. So the next question though is, what is the most popular trail off of the tribal parks or out of the tribal parks? So chime in with that one. If Raji or Aaron, if one of you want to be monitoring, if we get an answer on that, and what trail on the res gets more users than any other trail and is not in one of the tribal parks. All right, so we'll be waiting for that answer here in just a sec. While we're doing that, Sonia's gonna come over here. She's got some really cool swag that are gonna be some of the prizes for the winners of the trivia. So Sonia, come on over. Sonia's gonna come over here. She's got some really cool swag
Good afternoon. She Shan Gay and Isha, to the Chini National Hanagani Bashin, Kiani Dasha Dog, is a Hana Dashanella. She Nikinat Ani and Logic Dasa Dahagi, Jonathan Nez, Ado Keiko, Dahagi, Myra Miser. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sonia Begay, and I am with the Office of the President and Vice President, and I am also assist with the Office of the First Lady and Second Lady. And so we're partnering with Navajo Yes to bring this year's virtual conference. We're so glad that you all could tune in. Our office will be sponsoring a few prizes for the trivia portion. So if you're a winner, and I hope you are, you'll get one of our masks. One of our lanyards with a nice floral design. Umbrellas, one umbrella, as well as a hat that we hope you wear out on the trails as you get out and visit the beautiful Navajo Nation. And with that, you'll also get a nice tote bag with the Office of the First Lady and Second Lady logo. We also have a few other prizes. So again, good luck. Thank you for participating in the trivia portion. And we hope that you all are winners. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. All right. Some cool stuff there. We do have a winner. Again, she is having a pretty good day. Crystal Anderson from over here in Sego has done with the correct answer. And the answer is the Navajo Code Talker Trail, or sometimes known as a museum trail. Starts out here not too far from where we're standing right now, and heads up from the Navajo Museum up toward Window Rock Arch. So that is the answer, and Crystal Anderson was the first winner on that. So congrats, Crystal. You're gonna have to bring your truck over to the museum to load up your swag. Nice job. All right. Yeah, and just want to give a real quick shout out before we move on to First Lady. There is just so many things, and you heard President talking about so many different folks and so many different organizations and programs that are doing amazing stuff. I just want to mention a few, and you're going to hear some of these names kind of throughout this program. Navajo Nation Special Diabetes Program, SIP happening, Wings, Navajo Nation Trails Task Force, the Net Bike Project, communities all across the nation as well. So that's going to be really awesome. And I think you're going to have a really great time hearing from some of these folks and seeing some cool things happening across the nation. So, all right, Mr. Raiji BK is going to present our next presenter. So, Raiji, you are on, sir.
Hello, Yate again, and I'd like to Raiji.
Make sure it's not muted.
Oh, hello. Oh. Hello, everybody. Raiji again. Hello, Yate, and I'd like to introduce our next presenter. He is David Mikikis, and he will be over at Navajo Nation Parks. Navajo Nation Zoo. Zoo. Thank you. Hello again. I'm sorry, guys. I'd like to introduce our next presenter. David would be the next one, and our next one is First Lady.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Yate Shaya, Papilia Nezian Shia, Tabahanishlet is a Lana Bash's chain, Kaidanada, Shanelo Dashache, at a big mountain, the Ayasinasha. Thank you for attending the 2022 Navajo Trails and Outdoor Recreation Conference. Our office is once again partnering with Navajo Yes to bring this virtual event to you all. As we continue to navigate this global pandemic and are more accustomed to virtual events, I encourage you to safely get back to the outdoors and explore and enjoy our beautiful homelands. Take a walk or a hike with your family to encourage your loved ones to be physically active. The Navajo Nation is home to some of the most beautiful landscapes and wonders of the world, and you don't have to go far to see some breathtaking views. You can visit one of the tribal parks on the Navajo Nation, such as Window Rock Veterans Memorial Park, Camp Asaya or Bull Canyon in the Chusca Mountains, Monument Valley north of Kayenta, Antelope Canyon near Letee and Page, Little Colorado River Gorge near Cameron, Four Corners Monument near Tisnasmas, Sayet Dene Heritage Area, Cottonwood Campground, Canyon de Chelly, and Chinle, or discover new beautiful areas in your own community. In addition to our tribal parks, Navajo Nation is home to the only Native American owned and operated zoo. The Navajo Zoo serves more as a sanctuary to over 50 animal species native to the Navajo Nation and to the Southwest. It is open year-round and there is no admission fee. The zoo is located in Window Rock and is open to the public year-round. As we move closer into spring, we challenge you to get outdoors to begin a healthy and enjoyable lifestyle with your loved ones. Take the time to spend a little bit more time with nature. We thank you for partaking in this conference, and we hope to see you on the trails. In closing, the Office of First Lady, Second Lady we continue to advocate for healthy families and healthy communities, including education and literacy, cultural teachings, Navajo language retention, and outdoor education and recreation. In addition, the Office of the First Lady and Second Lady strive to promote the work of Navajo Nation divisions and programs. It is through these partnerships that we have been able to host a variety of webinars, informational sessions, panel discussions, and virtual conferences such as this. All past webinars and events can be accessed via the Navajo Nation OPVP YouTube communications channel. In addition, you can find a variety of information and resources on the Office of First Lady, Second Lady mobile app, which can be downloaded from the Apple Store or Google Play Store. So again, thank you for joining us for the Navajo Trails and Outdoor Recreation Conference. I've enjoyed listening to the presenters that we've had this afternoon, and remember to join us again tomorrow as well. Thank you again. Akat.
Good afternoon. I'm David McKessick with the Navajo Zoo. And behind me here is one of our most majestic of our animals, but also one of the least seen by our visitors. And that's because mountain lions or cougars or pumas are very secretive and they blend into the environment in which they sit. They do a lot of laying, just like your house cat at home. They are a weight and pounce type of predator. And but in the wild and in captivity, people can walk right past here and not ever see that we have two mountain lions here. Our male mountain lion, who weighs about 125 pounds, his name is Hunter. And our female lion, who weighs about 90 pounds, her name is Kaba. And both of them are actually brother and sister. And they came from the central part of New Mexico when their mom, who had them as kittens at the time, she was removed from Los Alamos because she was in somebody's backyard. Unfortunately, the New Mexico Game and Fish didn't know that she had two kittens. So after she was moved, they found the kittens, and all of a sudden they were orphaned. And so they came here in 2002, and they've been wonderful animals here ever since. So if you come to the Navajo Nation Zoo, be sure to look either here up on the left-hand side for Hunter or on the right-hand side at the top for Kaba. And typically you will be able to find them if you look hard enough. Thank you. All right, and here we are with our male mule deer. This is Pepsi. Pepsi was actually orphaned on the Navajo Nation up on the top of the Chuscas. He was found by a coyote hunter who had found him as a youngster getting attacked by a coyote. And so he was saved, but he was too far from mom to be reunited at the time. Mule deer are pretty plentiful around the Navajo Nation. They're widespread across the Navajo Nation. You can find them from north to east, to south to west. And unlike the other animals that we looked at today, mule deer are herbivores. That means that they eat vegetation. And just like a cow, They have a 4-chambered stomach. No, scratch that. When you edit that, cut that. I'm not sure if it's four-chambered or not. Mule deer have a chambered stomach such that, like a cow, they will actually regurgitate some of their food and chew it as what they call cud, and then re-ingest it. And what that does is it helps the digestion process. Because as you well may know, vegetation, plants and animals, or plants and twigs and things are much harder to digest than meat products are. And so mule deer are one of the favorite prey of one of the other animals that we looked at, which is the mountain lion. Again, mountain lions are sit and wait predators. They will sit patiently waiting for a deer or some other large animal to come near them and then pounce on them using the least amount of energy as possible. And the good thing is mule deer are fairly plentiful here on the Navajo Nation. They are a hunted species as well, and used for meat by people.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm one of the zookeepers here, and with me we have Abby the black bear, and she's interested in an interview as well. What we're doing for Abby right now is we're doing what is called animal enrichment. So right now we're just providing her a little bit of and we have our resident coyote wanting to also be on camera. So what we're doing is we're providing enrichment. We're giving her some ice to try to cool down, especially when it's a little bit starting to warm up a little bit more. And it's also just to stimulate her, especially because she's in a small area as opposed to what she would be normally out in the wild. And so to try to keep her emotionally and also physically entertained, we provide her different things to stimulate her senses throughout the day, and also different food items as well. And that's just for an overall well-being of the animal that we have in captivity here.
So here we are at the Navajo Nation Zoo, and right behind me is Abby the black bear. Abby's about 8 years old, and she's an orphan, like most of our animals here that are either injured or orphaned. Abby actually came to us because her mom, when she was a tiny cub, her mom got hit on I-40 over by Flagstaff. So her and her brother were orphaned at the time, and Abby came to us in that condition, and we raised her up, and she's a really great black bear now. We appreciate having her here. As you can tell, she's just here in the winter time, which it is February. Black bears are generally in the wild. They are hibernating. They are spending a lot of time underground in dens and not eating so much. And that also causes them the winter also makes them to have a slower metabolism than normal, which makes them a little lethargic, a little tired during the day. Abby doesn't really hibernate because she gets fed every day. Usually hibernation is done not necessarily in response to cold, but rather in response to lower food reserves. And so squirrels and chipmunks and a lot of the rodents, and then also bears, animals this large, can go a long time without food because they store up 30% of their body weight in the fall. And of course, Abby, being a black bear, she is a carnivore. She has large canine teeth. Generally, most carnivores are meat eaters, meat-only eaters. However, black bears and raccoons and a few other carnivores are omnivores. So they eat meat and they eat vegetables and fruit and things like that. So Abby enjoys a varied diet through the year, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, and then also some meat. Okay, so here we have a few examples of some of the eagle feathers that we acquire from the eagles at the Navajo Nation Zoo. All of these feathers are what you would call live eagle feathers, in that they are dropped or molted or shed from the eagles. Once a year, our eagles will shed each of their long feathers. And these are actually primary and one secondary wing feathers. These are all wing feathers, not tail feathers. But these are, as you can tell, they're quite long, about 14 inches or so, in beautiful condition. The awesome thing about the Navajo Nation and its Eagle program is that you could actually apply and receive feathers like this. We have a simple application process for Navajo people, as long as you bring a copy of your driver's license or student ID and a copy of your CIB to the Department of Fish and Wildlife Office. You can fill out an application there and apply for up to 2 long wing feathers or 1 tail feather and a wing feather each year. And if you apply, you also receive 2 beautiful body feathers, 2 plumes to go with those. And those are for you to keep. You can do with them as you please. You can gift them to another Native American or give them as a gift for like a graduation or a wedding or something. Or you can keep them for yourself and use them for however you please. So please feel free to take advantage of our Eagle Feather application process. If you're viewing this from outside the Window Rock area, we also make it easy for you. You can apply through the Navajo Nation website, Navajo Nation Zoo website, actually. You can acquire the application, attach a copy of your driver's license, CIB, mail it into us, and we will actually, on our dime, mail you the Eagle feathers to your home. So whether you are as far as Tuba City, Page, Arizona, or overseas, across the states, you can receive Eagle feathers just as easily as if you were living here in Window Rock. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Terrence Small. I'm a caretaker here at the Eagle Sanctuary. We're in it right now, as you can see. There's about 18 eagles, 17 eagles behind us. And 18 is the most we have here at the Navajo Zoo. And we're going to be at standstill for a while, but it's good to have these guys here. It's good. They're flying all over the place. But I love my job. I love working here. It's very sacred to the Navajo people. And just earlier, I had a family in here singing Navajo blessing songs to these guys, and I actually recorded on my phone. I asked if I could record it. It was real nice. I'm hoping to get that up somewhere on the website. And it's real good to be in here with these guys every day. I feel blessed every day being in here, feeding them, cleaning after them. You know, it's for a real good purpose. So I'm real thankful to be in here. And I love my job. That middle one up there, he's the newest one.
Again, I'm David McKessick with the Navajo Nation Zoo program here in Window Rock, Arizona. I want to thank you for joining and attending, watching the Navajo Trails and Outdoor Recreation Conference. The Navajo Nation Zoo is open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. And again, we are home to a good number of injured and orphaned animals from the Navajo Nation and the Desert Southwest. You can come and learn about the biology of the animals, come and learn about the cultural significance of the animals. Also just come and do a prayer or sit with the animals for a little bit and enjoy their presence. So thank you. Good.
The Navajo Zoo in a while. Check it out. The Eagle Aviary, everything about that zoo is just incredible. The picnic area, the playground is just totally radical. Amazing, amazing stuff. It is a real hidden gem of the Navajo Nation. So David, thank you for sharing it. First Lady, thank you for your great words. She's a huge advocate for the zoo and has done a really great job of promoting the zoo to families on the nation. So to you both. Thanks very much. All right. So next, our final session of the day is going to be a focus on long distance routes on the nation. We're going to have three totally unique presenters. First is going to be Mr. John Yazzie. I'll talk about John in just a second before we turn it over to him. Second presenter is going to be one of our very own here, Raiji BK, who's going to be sharing about the Chuska mountain bike route, which is up in the obviously the Chuska Mountains, and he'll tell you all about that amazing epic route for mountain bikers and hikers. And then the third is going to be Irene Daisy presenting just a tease about the Navajo Nation Rail Trail potential project in Western Navajo. This is still something that is totally in the works, and there's still a lot of variables on this project, but a really exciting project, and we'll hear about that from Irene in just a little bit. We'll introduce her after Raiji and after John. So John Yazzie, as many of you know, has been featured in Outside Magazine and many other sources. Is just an incredible advocate for mountain biking and bike packing in particular. And bike packing, for those of you not aware of that term, bike packing is a concept that is for folks that are traveling long distance routes with their own gear. And basically it's a pretty cool and pretty simple concept, and John has really mastered it on the nation and has been leading long distance routes across the Navajo Nation for several years, particularly in the western area around Danahotso, Simbito, do Kayenta. So it'll be really cool to hear John's take on that. And then Raiji again on the Chuska and Irene with the rail trail. If any of you have questions along the way, please chime in. Please write those in on Facebook, and we will offer those questions to any of the three after they all do their initial presentation. So again, if any of you have questions for either John or Raiji or Irene, just send those to us on Facebook, and then when the three of them are done presenting, we'll offer those up. Perhaps we can have all three of them respond to some of your questions. All right, so Mr. John Yazzie, you are on, sir. Sifta Adventures. Welcome, John. All right, John, are you there, John?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you for the invitation.
All right.
Just making sure that you all can see my PowerPoint slide. For some reason, it doesn't show there it goes. Okay, so again, thank you for the introduction, and thank you for allowing me to come and talk a little bit about what we do. Again, my name is John Yazzie. I'm originally from Tsekon, Coal Mine Canyon by Tuba City. And I moved out to Kayenta about 2013 to take a job as a school administrator. So I've been in the area now for going on 9 years. So a little bit about us, Jitha Adventures. There's two of us that own the company, myself and Nadine Johnson. We are an Indigenous veteran-owned adventure company, and we are totally in support of human-powered adventuring. And the ways that we do it, there's a lot of other companies that are hiking and river rafting and things like that. So we are totally taking a different route. And the way that we like to adventure is bike packing, pack rafting, and then a combination of both bike pack rafting. So bike packing is essentially backpacking. Have you ever been backpacking down Grand Canyon or even Rainbow Bridge Trail? Essentially, you're throwing all your sleeping bag and food and camp gear and everything in specially made bags for your bike. They put everything in the right places. All your water goes in the frame near your bottom bracket, so you have better handling. So all these things are pretty thought out. We have plenty of bags for people. We specialize in taking youth bike packing. We are an LLC company, and our hopes are to sell tours in our local area. We aren't creating any new trails, but we're using existing Jeep trails to try to get people out to make a profit so we can go and take that money and turn it into a youth empowerment program. So the other way besides bike packing that we do is through pack rafting. These pack rafts are, they're small. They're about the size of a 6-pack of soda, and they weigh about maybe 4 to 5 pounds. And these things you can stick in the bottom of a backpack and pretty much hike with them, and then hit a trail or a lake and cross and do all kinds of stuff with them. I know some indigenous folk up in the Alaska area, they use these to hunt with. They put their game on top and they pull them around the edges of the river. So it's a lot easier to try to get their hunt out of the bush. So combining the two, knowing that the pack rafts are so small, we are able to get these pack rafts on our bikes or in a backpack, and we can get out and explore even further. We air these things up, and they have specially made loops and tabs on them, so you can break your bike down and put them on there. And explore even further. There's no limits to exploring when you have a pack raft or a bike. Essentially, you're covering more ground. So how this benefits, I know that I'm going to get a little bit about long distance bike routes. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the benefits of having trails. So I was reading a study, and I put a whole bunch of information together to present to our local council delegates and our local leaders about helping them with a Tri-City tourism initiative. And I think a part of that component is outdoor recreation. And I was sitting around one day getting ready for work, and I like to play news in the background. And one day I heard on CBS that they had this top 20 healthiest cities in America. And I stopped what I was doing. I went over and looked at the screen and took a screenshot of it. And in the top 10 were Scottsdale, Phoenix, and Albuquerque. And they contributed these because of the access to trails. Having trails in the community is a direct the direct result of that is having a healthier community. And that's what this study was about. One of the things that I can see in my community about having public access to trails is that we can get more people out. It seems like sometimes when I'm exploring, I get turned away because I'm not a family member, or I'm on somebody's grazing land, when we're actually just riding dirt roads in the area. We're not creating new trails. But one of the things that I've noticed is next door at Monument Valley High School, they have an outdoor adventure program, and they're constantly having to take kids to Flagstaff and Durango and all over because they don't have access to any trail systems here. I think this would benefit our community by having trails in the area where we can build youth programs. It's hard for kids to get out and go hiking and backpacking in some of these prestigious areas because they don't see themselves there. It's something new. And I think having the opportunity for us to load up bikes and gear and take these kids out will give them access to bigger places and other places to do this. The way it helps the community, again, we provide opportunities for future programming. In the Tri-City area, if we were to ever go full on recreation, then my program is all about training those kids, as well as the other ones Colleen mentioned and the other ones other people's mentioned. They've got youth programs where we can grow our own guides. We do that. Some of the funding that we use are supposed to train these kids on wilderness first aid, CPR, to gain them experience and confidence and a sense of belonging, that they belong in these outdoors, not just on our own land, but off the reservation. Because what kid's not going to want to go explore and do bike packing trips in the Colorado Trail and Sedona and all these places? So the big picture again is just growing our own, building confidence. The one thing about having mountain bike trails, I'll always be an advocate for biking trails, is because I've seen our kids flourish. There's a whole bunch of Native youth right now that are sponsored, that are racing, that are doing stuff. But in my community, specifically in Kayenta, we don't have access to trails. We don't have an ability to train kids locally. That's one thing that I would wish we had, so we would able to expand our program more. But we have to reach out to communities that already have trail systems. When I want to do everything, do weekly trail rides here, group rides, and build kids' confidence. And we already have a lot of cross-country runners that do great. They're state champions that go on to the post-secondary level and run for colleges. Imagine if we had cycling initiatives. About 6-7 years ago, when I first went to my NICA mountain bike coaching clinic, there was only like 9 or 10 high schools at the state championships. Last year, I understand there was over 200 programs. Flag High, Holbrook High School, and some of those schools in the area are starting to have mountain bike teams. We need to jump on it. And the only way we can do it and train our kids to do it is having trail systems in the area or access to trails. One of the other ways too that we use our company is for Indigenous storytelling. I grew up traditionally, and we like to share those stories about our creation stories, because they're tied into the geographical features in our area. Every time I hear a story about Monster Slayer and the monsters he's killed, I like to share that with the kids, because those dead monsters are actually some of the stone and the spines and everything that's out here. And I think some of those stories and outdoor recreation go hand in hand. So I know Tom mentioned Outside Magazine and some others, but I write personal blogs myself. I like to share stories with our audience, and I was happy that last year that we landed on Yahoo News one time, and I hope to keep doing it. I hope to keep storytelling. I hope to keep growing what we're doing, but we need the support of our community and helping with trail initiatives. Okay, there's my contact information. And again, thank you for your time.
Hello, everybody. My name is RGBK. Yate again. And I would like to talk about the Chusca Rim Route. I am from Cove, Arizona, and that's pretty close where the Chusca Rim Route is. And just the whole idea of the rim route is approximately 80 miles total of dirt road that the locals use, and community members that utilize the trails, visitors too, as myself and families and friends go out onto the course, or not the course, the rim route, excuse me. And the route that we have, let me pull it up on the screen. Okay, I'm not too sure if it shows on there, the photo. And well, let me just go overview about the rim route. We started back in, well, this has been in the works for a very long time, but in 2020, volunteers like myself and Tom Rigabob, Aaron Buford, and another guy out from Kabuto have been working on the reservation on the Chusca Mountains, making trail markers, making them, routing them, and then placing them on certain trails, certain routes on the trail, which is the roads that the visitors and all the community members use, like I was saying. And the route is very stable, like I was saying, good for everybody, and accessible towards vehicles like 4x4s, because the terrain out there is very rocky, and we just very rocky, and just be careful out there if you are going to do the rim route. And trail riders and trail hikers can go out there to check it out. And again, it's 80 miles, and through the whole thing, if you would want it to ride, it will take about 3 to 6 miles altogether. And what we have onto the trail is the trailhead, we call it, and that's just what we have at the beginning of the route. Now, the beginning could start either in Cove, Arizona, or Red Valley, Arizona, and that would just be the beginning of it. And then going up towards the mountain, towards Buffalo Pass, like if you guys know N13, that would be the main road. And then as you're going up there, you'll be crossing with 7170 or N30. And those are all BIA roads, which now turn into Navajo Nation routes, and a lot of wood gatherers and people that go up there for medicine know the routes. And along this route, it would benefit a lot of people, as in traditional folks, ceremonials, medicine, and also active people that want to check out the area, and families and community members that would be able to go up in there and do a picnic if they want to do a picnic. And events, there has been a lot of events that have been going on since I was born. I'm 26 years old, but has been events like bicycle riding, like the Chusca Challenge in the late 90s. Ever since then, there always has been bicycle rides that has been taken part on the Chuscas. Not only that, you have programs that have like churchgoers that go up, and camping, youth groups that go up there, like special by diabetes. They would do events. They use the Chuscas and utilize it for events, and also for health purposes or traditional purposes. And yeah, that's just let's see, is my photo showing? Just want to see. Okay, so just wanted to show the video, or show the photo of how we go on the routes, on the Chusca route. We've been going on with volunteers in the vehicle that you see, which is well, my sister's ride, so she helped out a lot. So a lot of volunteers and community members. So that is the vehicle that we have. Next photo that I show. Well, I'll just explain it. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff that we use onto the trail, and that's the ramada that you see on there, that we build and use the lumber out from, well, Home Depot is what we've been using, and a lot of materials that have been used on the trail, like the lumber, 4x4 posts, 2x3, 2x6 frames, and then the roof would be a metal roofing. And through the couple of years, we've established a whole bunch of nice ramadas that you see, that would just be in the works on there, with benches, ramada signs, mat pedestals that we have on there too. So if you were to come in from Cove and make your way out towards that way, you can take a picture of it. You can even check out with where the brown posts are. They're called carcinite signs, and that's what we have on the trail, the 80-mile trail. And we put up rest stops, like with the Ramadas, we put up rest stops along the way, which are places like in Red Valley, Narbona Pass, and a site kind of up in the site area. In that area, we utilize the active family sheep camps, and they're really working with other communities that want to visit the area. We established these ramadas and campsites for them to use, and it's going pretty good. And along the way, we met a lot of people on the trail, and a lot of folks that want to help out and know more about it. It is established, but we're still working on a lot of like the destinations of the trailhead and the ends and points of the area. But it's coming along, and if you check it out now, you'll be seeing a lot of stuff on Chusca Mountains. That would be like accessible areas would be like Navajo, New Mexico, Crystal, New Mexico, and also Sheep Springs. Those have like up access towards Narbona Pass, and you can be able to see the areas. Like Berlin Lake, for example, is the stop that you would come on the other end of it, which is Mexican Springs. And Mexican Springs could be the end of it or the beginning of it. Again, then you would follow the routes of the wooden signs, carcinite signs, and also the ramadas and the rest stops that I was explaining. And let's see. Now, along the way, we are working on intert panels. The intert panels would showcase a lot of the landmarks and history that has been on the Navajo Nation, like the Narbona Pass, and that this talks about it. Talks about his life and little small details of it, and just the areas that livestock or animals that are on the Chusca Mountains too. So that would just be in the works, and also doing the trail guide that will kind of show the Chusca Mountains, and we'll be getting more information. But the trail out there is pretty well established, so if you guys would come out May or June in the summertime, maybe in the spring snow might be gone, so check it out there for folks that ride bicycling, running, and also trail riding, because the road's pretty good stabilized out there. And 2022 is going to be pretty nice. We got some cool stuff up there. So Chusca Challenge 2 will be announced later on, so be on the lookout to do that. That's a bicycle ride up in the Chusca Mountains up towards Buffalo Pass. All right, everybody, that's the presentation for Chusca Rim Route, and I want to thank you guys. All right.
Okay, Raiji. I'm going to just say a quick word before Irene comes on. Irene is going to be presenting the Rail to Trail in Denebazad. I want to share a quick word in English before we get over to Irene. So Irene, hang on standby for just another minute. So the Rail to Trail, as most of you are probably well aware, probably been hearing about this or following this over the last couple of years, is basically the old coal train from Black Mesa to Page to NGS near Lechi, Arizona. It's about 80 miles, 78 miles along that route. And it's an epic route, beautiful country, goes through Shanto, Tonalea, Kaibato, on the edge of Copper Mine into Lechi. The railroad last rode in 2019, and at that time, it became property of the Navajo Nation, and the nation has been considering lots of different options over the last couple of years. One of those options has been to possibly convert the old railroad into a trail, and President Nez has been very supportive of that concept, along with other options that may go simultaneous with that trail. Some of you may have read the article in the Navajo Times just before Christmas. Krista Allen wrote a real nice piece about this topic and presented kind of the pros and cons of a trail and other options that could be out there. So we've been meeting with a lot of community groups and chapters, tribal officials, trying to gather as much information as we possibly can to make an informed decision and to allow the communities, not us, but the communities and the chapters to make informed decisions. Obviously, we're advocating for trail use, and that's, we think, would be a great use of that route. So hopefully that's something that will be forthcoming over the next couple of years. There definitely seems to be some momentum in that direction. Chateau and the G chapters in particular have been very supportive of doing something along that route. So stay tuned on that, and definitely stay involved. We really need advocates, folks like you all who are trail users and trail lovers, who can help make that case and share with the chapters and the residents and the nation that this would be a use that you would really support and utilize. And hopefully we'll be able to make that case. I want to turn the mic over to Irene Daisy. She's a Shanto resident and rancher near, not too far from the beginning of the route, near the coal chute there at the base of Black Mesa. She's out toward Batatican in that area. And Irene is going to share just a little bit about this project, which is so important to everybody, including many of our grazing folks and elderly folks. So she's going to present this in Denebazad just to inform that audience as well. So Irene, the floor is yours.
Yate. Yate to the Irene ko aya bahajal neegi nare shot for don le na ahago a tinigi konas possible tint engin late kiden milo ba anas eight atahyosh kalenda the ne basically Navajo Nation ako benahan bentahat al halit to they don't lahaba yat eton hat no ye and he at hato le no do ya eta belanto do o sheta di aliata konde sato bentahit akot asha hat no ko a teen sha alia gonle sha thodo kaibicho do not one only page a teen god a hona da di jahodo da az so da bani yeto is it da hinda jeho ko cho what asha no adan hidden dive at of le bandat ko da so yes shaya did a tinigi so da yos at the nebike yapakao or other sato then hayat eto no yet ada ashna koshina ko ye
Anybody out there can hear us? We good? All right, cool. Yeah, we've got a question that just came in on Facebook, and it could be for any of the three presenters here. The question is, what are the benefits of bikepacking or long distance routes on the nation? So Raiji, John, Irene, if any of you three would like to respond to that question. Question being from a Facebook listener, what would be the benefits to the Navajo Nation of doing long distance routes? So any of you feel free to take that. or perhaps all three of you.
Could I go? Like to go first is Raiji. Okay. Kind of.
Yeah, let's go. We'll eat that.
Let's set up for now.
Yeah.
We switch back to this.
Hello, everybody. I want to answer the question to the benefits of the trail. Well, the Chisca Rim Route would benefit a lot towards the families and communities on the nation. Not only that, you have people that are outside of the nation, which will be part of Farmington for myself, but also other people that are around the border towns that would benefit them a lot. Not only that, you got chish gatherers or wood gatherers, I should say, and a lot of people that utilize it was in sheep camps and also health and wellness. That would be the main focus and the benefit of the people that will come out there. So that's my answer.
Cool, thanks, Reggie. John or Irene, if either of you want to jump in on that question, any benefits of bikepacking or long distance routes?
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Yes, you can hear me? Okay. So I just think that some of the benefits is just human-powered travel, is being able to explore, or not so much explore, but travel to communities. And for me, it's really about slowing down. I can get from here to Hunts Mesa in an hour and 30 minutes on a vehicle. But if I'm on a bike, I can slow down. I can enjoy the scenery. There's a rock out here. Most people call it El Capitan, but the actual word for it is a Agafant, and then it morphed over to Agatha Peak. But that rock has a lot of special meaning, and to be able to slow down and to be able to see it and enjoy it with all five of our senses is one of the things that I like about bike packing. I think that having trails and long distance route can benefit the community. I mean, I have a whole bunch of presentations on how much money is spent on outdoor recreation in Moab, Utah, as well as Sedona, Arizona. And we're prime time right in the middle of those two towns. I mean, if you look at Moab, and they have a housing crisis because they can't even house all the people for all the new jobs that are coming up. Their economic development plan is all about outdoor recreation. And we really can do it big or small. We can do it on a small level where we can have some, we can have some trails that visitors can attend. I mean, they can buy a one-day pass off the chapter house or the grazing committee, and ride trails, or we can do it as big as Moab. It really depends on you, or our community, what they want to do. A lot of these jobs, and I think bike packing for me, I really enjoy green tourism or sustainable tourism, ecotourism. With a bike, you can live those no trace principles. Anytime you run across a mud hole or a path, we can walk right through it with a bike. Whereas I know some of these, I don't want to point any fingers, but there's a lot of roads that are getting tore up out here because people drive around and do other things. But yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless. Small scale, large scale. If we were to allow economic or ecotourism and more bike stuff, that means our future generations will have jobs. A lot of these towns that are booming because of recreation or outdoor recreation were old mining towns. Moab's a mining town. Fruta is huge. Their economic, or their what they're bringing into the town as far as money because of outdoor recreation is huge. And these were old mining towns. The possibilities are big. That's my biggest benefit is, that outdoor recreation is to me a better alternative than to mining and tearing up Mother Earth.
Hey, Tom, this is Don in Monument Valley. If I could just add to what John said.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm big on also building bike trails here in Monument Valley, which we don't have, actually. I love the idea of him bringing high school biking associations to our communities as well. The point that he struck that rang a bell to me was the fact that we live between two major biking communities. And this would be a very great opportunity for our community, for travelers, bikers from Moab to stop a night, spend a night here in Monument Valley, do some trails on their way to Sedona or elsewhere. And like you said, there's a great amount of business that could be had here and to grow our communities. And not only that, I think the biggest thing for me too is the physical activity, the physical health that comes with biking as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, Donnie. And I hope you're all really tuned in on this conversation, because we're going to kind of take this to another level tomorrow. And the final session tomorrow is going to be, where do we go from here? And all of these kind of conversations and these kind of topics should definitely be part of that discussion, right? You know, what can we do to make our trails, both our communities, more trail friendly, both to our local residents, families, youth, but as well as to visitors who are coming from outside that might also benefit our communities. So let's be thinking about that. I know across the street from you, Donnie, the park is doing some pretty cool things, trying to initiate some new trail developments. We're going to hear from Sean Livingstone and Martin Begay tomorrow a little bit about some of the ideas that parks have. But let's all keep that in mind. What does the future look like? You know, if you were to hear the question, all right, in 5 years, Navajo Nation trail community, Navajo Nation outdoor rec community, in 5 years, in 10 years, what do you envision? What would be the look of the Navajo Nation in terms of trails and outdoor recreation? And it can be a pretty enticing and interesting conversation, right? There's a lot of things to consider there and a lot of possibilities. So that'll be, like I say, the last session of tomorrow, which will be a really great opportunity to explore some of those possibilities. Hey, John, I've got kind of a silly question for you, but you have been such a huge advocate and such a huge face for trails and bike packing on the Navajo Nation. of all the articles and all the stories that have been done, which is the one in your mind that made you say, wow, we're getting the word out?
The one from the Condonist Traveler, and that one was pulled by Yahoo News. Our Instagram page grew after that. It blew up in 2 days. I got a lot of inquiries about bicycle tours. So far, the only route that we have approved is Hunts Mesa. And it was tough to get that one, boy. But we have altogether about 8 total routes. But our biggest obstacle is going to be grazing permit holders. They are the bottom line signatures in all of this permitting process. If you go over to our website, ziftadventures.com, under blogs, all the exposure that we've got, media exposure and press exposure, we got to have them all linked up there. I've got a new blog that's coming out. We like to tie indigenous stories into the scenery that we're writing. So a lot of people are into that. So as soon as I put something on our blog, somebody wants to buy it off of us for their website. And so, yeah, I just hope that we can build a bikepacking community. That's our overall mission. Our mission statement for our company is to provide culturally relevant backcountry experiences. But the bigger picture is we'd love to build a bikepacking community in Navajo Nation. I would love to ride from Kayenta to Chinle on all the back roads and camp somewhere along the way and get to Chinle and spend a little bit of money there and hang out and see people coming in the opposite directions and families all out. That's our ultimate goal, is we want to build a bikepacking community. We want to get rid of driving all these gas guzzlers and CO2 monsters, or carbon monoxide monsters, and just do human-powered travel.
Oh, yeah, John, that's awesome. And I think, and I want to thank you not just for sharing with us today, but for being that advocate and that voice for the nation and representing the nation and literally publications across the country. So yeah, John, yeah. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for being that person.
Do I have one more second to introduce myself? I forgot to do that. I put my timer on my phone for 8 minutes and I just went right into it. But I'm just Kia Ani, born for Nashkajatrabaha. My Chays are Sitnajini and my Nullies are Tuchitni. And I'm originally from Coal Mine Canyon, or near Tuba City. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, John. Thanks for chiming in, Donnie, and appreciate it, Irene, Raiji. Great session. So I think we're gonna have to move on. We need to get ready to wrap up for day one here. I want to give a shout out to Sid Towers, who is chiming in from LA, home of those champion Rams. Hey, we got a greeting from Kayenta Pizza Edge. Oh, yummy stuff from Mr. Norris, man. Sup, Norris. Abigail Hanna from Apache Nation says hello, along with Aaron Begay from Monster Slayer Archery. So we got some awesome folks tuning in. Feel free to shoot a note or a message anytime over the next day if you want to say hello from wherever you happen to be. Or if you've got questions or topics that you want us to touch on, please do that. All right, we're going to give it over to, actually, before we do that, just a quick highlight of tomorrow. We're going to start the day with a look at Sihasin, the bike project of Claudia Jackson. It's her brainchild, her dream, her baby. It's an amazing program, such great stuff going on. Last year, we heard about the Silver Stallion program down in the Gallup area in the southern part of the res. Just amazing things happening all over. So we want to highlight some of these programs and some of these folks and give them front and center stage. We're also going to talk a bit about land, and John kind of hinted at that, on how land can be a really complicated issue when it comes to trails. So we will be touching on that. And then we're also going to hear from some really successful communities. We have Sabikin, Earl Sombrero, Baklabato with Melissa Kelly, a chapter president up there, and Arthur Bavaro from the Nanazad will be sharing about what works, what has worked in their communities, and what hasn't. What are the challenges that maybe they have faced? It'd be really practical information if you're in a community or a chapter that's interested in doing trails. Then we're going to have a really awesome parks presentation that we had mentioned before, and then a cool session with Rachel Holiday. And Rachel's going to be focused on something that we've all been kind of struggling with probably for the last 2+ years. And her topic is titled Outdoor Recreation in the Age of COVID. Right? You can relate probably. So Rachel is with UNHS and she's going to super active young lady. So she's going to share on that topic. That should be really fun and interesting tomorrow. And then we're also going to hear from Aaron again on trailhead amenities and how you can make your trailheads really enticing and pull folks in. And then, like I said, that really fun, interesting session at the end, just in terms of what's our dream? What's our 5-10 year vision? What's our future look like for trails and outdoor recreation on the nation? So good times ahead, not only tomorrow, but for years to come. Things are just getting better. President Nez mentioned the wellness movement that's underway on the nation, and it is happening, man. It is a great time to be active and be fit on the Navajo Nation. Never been a better time for that. And hopefully we'll be able to highlight some of that and motivate some folks to get out there and keep living it. All right, we're going to turn it over to Nelsa, who is going to introduce our final presenter, Miss Nelsa Curley.
Hello again, everyone. So we do have our last presenter here. So I just want to give thanks to everybody, to all of our presenters today. Lots of great projects, lots of great work across the Navajo Nation. We do have Terry Goodman here. She is a runner, she's a cyclist, and she's a pastor. She's coming out from Red Rock, New Mexico, and she's 75 years old. She's a great inspiration to all. Prime example of how, the outdoors can be very beneficial to our health. So she's going to share her story, and then she's going to close today's session with a prayer for us. Thank you.
She'eya Terry Gooden Yinishie Ado She'eya Sinajin Nishlan Do Tachi Ni Bashishi Ado Sheche Ashin Do Chanela Halsoy. And I just thank Tom for all that he's done to help with all of these trails. He's the one that I really know, because he's always out there on the trails, and then his helpers. And these trails have just been awesome. And I'm just so excited to be a part of it with Navajo Nation. And this last year, we had to do the virtual biking at the Clabato. And I decided that I was going to do my biking event out there. And so there were some children from the area, and it was so neat talking with them and meeting them. And so I told them, I said, I'm just really learning how to do these single track mountain biking trails. And they told me, all you got to do is just come down the hill real fast. So that was really neat to me to think about the, how the children, they were out there enjoying the trails as well. And then at Old Jeto, sort of toward the last minute, I was doing the biking event and out there, and right before we started, I started thinking about the tires on my bike, that, maybe I need to have more air in them. So sort of at the last minute, I went to Aaron and I said, can you check my tire? And he started letting the air out of my tire. and I'm like, oh my. And then he said, you'll go across the sand a lot better if you have less air in your tire. So what I'm saying is I'm learning. And, these trails are for everybody, no matter your age. So no matter your age, we need everybody to get out there and just to be walking and running. And I know even there's a scripture that says that above all things, he wants us to prosper and be in health. So our health is very important. And for me, I'm just really glad to be a part of all of these events that have taken place across the nation. And I remember out at Four Corners several years back how that we ran through the snow and through the mud. It didn't matter. So I'm telling you, whatever the weather, you know, come and join us, no matter who you are, no matter your age, and especially I challenge the older people, come out there and help us. And sometimes I say, well, I'm going to make it. I may not be the first one, but I'm going to make it, and I'm going to keep going. And it's a real challenge to me to eat healthy and to stay fit and to meet other runners. And, you know, those young runners, they really encourage you too. Sometimes I say, are you nervous before we start running? And they say, yes. But we run. And those events are just great. They're wonderful. And Tom, I just can't thank you enough. I just love it. It's just really changed my life. Even though I'm a pastor missionary, I get to, even people ask for prayer. I mean, anything can happen out there on the trails. And it's just really awesome. And then I can't say enough for Chuska, and then the Centennial at Monument Valley. And the first time I did that one, I was amazed that we actually go around the whole Centennial. I mean, I guess I thought we're just going to go up to it and then back down, but we actually go all around it. We can see God's wonderful creation out there and all the beauty that other people can't see when you get on the trail and experience it. And it's just awesome to be out there. And Raji's always out there encouraging me too all the time. So, you know, I love these trails. And I just, once again, I encourage everybody to be a part of it and get out there and don't think about, I can't do it, or should John this guy, you know, don't think about that. You know, think, you know, I can do it. And just be a part of what's going on with Navajo Nation, because this is a great opportunity for all of us to be out there and to be fit and to be healthy. So kalat on it. So we'll go ahead and close in prayer. And so thank you. Precious Jesus, we just thank you for your awesome love today. And God, I just thank you for all of these that are gathered together today, and for thinking about Navajo Nation and how that we can help the people to live healthier, stronger lives. And God, I pray that you just give wisdom to all of these different presenters and different people that come together to talk about making it better and greater, and not only for now, but for in the years to come. They're looking ahead. They're not just going to stop now. And Father, we just ask that you would help them in all of their decisions. And we just thank you, God, for this great Navajo Nation. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Yeah, again, so that closes today's session, and we will continue tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We'll see you then.